Good morning to everyone. Well, once again, come back for the STTP program. Good morning to everyone over here. A warm welcome to you all for National Short-Term Training Program from Department of ECS, KLEF, in association with Academic Staff College, KLEF. I am overwhelmed to welcome you all once again to the STTP 2021-22. I, Krishnaveni, Assistant Professor from Department of ECS, KLEF, feel honored to invite you all after the completion of 3-week International Faculty Development Program on research perspectives in the areas of AI, ML, data science, and IoT. With more interest, the team of this FTP planned the 2-week national level short-term training program online on full stack AI, deep learning practitioner approach, which is planned and scheduled in the association dates with the support of Academic Staff College, KLEF. I would like to thank KLEF management, HOD ECS, and Academic Staff College for good association and support that have the successful completion of 3-week FDP. Thank you does not say enough for the guidance and encouragement and impetus good homework of this FDP and STTP. The participants provided the thought-provoking insights and direction with many hours with the resource persons. Though the objectives are set for the FDP, which is successfully met, now we all a step forward to the STTP program. I wish you all the pleasant stay and memorable time in this STTP program as well. It is a pleasure to host you all and to give you a platform to continue the participation once again. I am welcome you all one more time to the STTP platform. Today, from our request, Vinila and our department beloved alumni is here to be part of the resource person. Let me introduce with a few words. She contributed her 10 guest sessions and supported her juniors over 12 number to get settled down in the corporate career. Mrs. Vinila currently working as a research scholar in SRM University, Amaravati, in ML and seismic signal processing. She did her BTech from Amrita Vishwa Vidyapeetham and MTech from KL University, where she stands as a gold medalist for the year 2018-19. And she worked as an associate engineer for 2 years in Robert Bosch, Coimbatore. Today, with immense pleasure, I would like to request Vinilia to associate the session on the journal selection and research metrics for machine learning and seismic signal processing, and how to propose a novel research objectives, how to make sure the objectives met towards the theme of the PhD program and all. Now, I request Vinila one more time to associate the session. She's here. Welcome, Vinila. Good morning.
Good morning, ma'am. Thank you for the warm welcome. Good morning, everyone present here. A warm welcome to the STTP program. It was such an honor for me to have here and give my opinion on this topic of my research and different research metrics and journal selection in ML. Okay, ma'am, I'm audible?
Yeah, Vinila, you're audible. You can check once.
Yeah, I can share.
Yeah, you can check your screen sharing also. Yes. So you got the presenter rights, right?
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
I'm sharing my screen.
Yes, Vinila, your screen is visible now. Yes, you can start. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yeah, good morning, one and all present here. So my topic for today's program is would focus mainly on journal selection, citation database, and the impact factors of the journals, like different metrics we have in the research, like H index, G index, item index. So how do we calculate them? And also a perspective on my research on seismic signal processing using ML and ML and DL part of ML. So I would also give a few briefing about my work also that has been going on. So, okay, let's start the session. And I'm Vinila. I'm currently doing my research in SRM University, AP, Amravati. Um, and okay, now getting into the topic. So basically, I would start with like what is research and all, and what are the research objectives that can be there. And next, and I would continue on going on to publication, journal selection, and how can we select a journal in an appropriate way, and what is the importance of selecting a good journal for publishing. And next, and what are all the different metrics present, and based on the metrics, how should we select the journals and all. And at the end, I would give a brief about my work. So basically, research is searching for some knowledge, and it is also an objective for on systematic search for relevant information on a particular subject. Like if you question yourself and if you're trying to find answers, so that is a research. So you're trying to search for something, some knowledge. So mainly it would focus on finding answers to questions. And to find the answers to questions, you follow some scientific procedures and all. So that this is all this is nothing but the research. Now, in the research, the main objective is to find the answers to what is unknown to the world. And you have to discover or invent something new which is unknown to the world. So basically, this research objectives can broadly be classified as like formulative research, descriptive research, diagnostic research, and hypothesis testing research. So based on our subject, based on our area, based on, I can, excuse me, I can see some audio problem. Am I audible?
Uh, Vinila, no problem. You are audible.
Okay, ma'am.
Participants, please check at your end who have been posted that there is an audio problem. Please check at your end. Here we have very clear. Yeah,
Okay,
you can
ma'am.
continue.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, to gain first thing is formulative research. Means I mean, while choosing the research objectives, it can be any of. I mean, it can the background can be of any of these four kinds. Like for example, if there is an already an existing phenomena, and you're trying to give a new insight, a new meaning to the existing phenomena, or a new conclusion or a new derivative to the existing phenomena, that comes under the formulative research study, and that would be one of the research objectives. And next comes under descriptive research study. That is, you can you characterize the particular discussion or group or particular individual. You characterize like you portray the characteristics of a situation. Then that comes under the descriptive research studies. And next, you analyze the frequency with which something occurs. That comes under diagnostic research. For example, if you take the vaccine that is being given for COVID now to analyze the frequency, if it is if you test it on some few if it is working or not. So that kind of study would come under this diagnostic research studies, for example. And next is hypothesis testing, is you are trying to find a relationship between two variables or something. So basically finding, so suppose the temperature is increased, so what is the occurrence due to the increase in temperature to the boilers or something. So some relation, the relation between some two variables, how is it going to happen? So that comes under hypothesis testing research. So our research objective mainly would in most of the times would fall into this one of the following four research studies. And the types of research, coming into types of research, it can be a qualitative research or a quantitative research. Qualitative means you understand the problem and you give the insights. Quantitative means based on the data, quantifying the data. Here, if we can take the vaccination example, COVID vaccination. So you take the data, and from the data, we give the generalized results, like whether it is working or not. It is majority of the population. So that comes to quantitative research. So basically, it would be of two types: qualitative and quantitative. Just this is a briefing about the research. Many of you might be already aware, faculty and all. Next, the final research project process. So how do we actually go with the process? So first step is to find the gap in the literature. So when you're selecting a topic of interest, so you select some topic of interest. So now you need to get information about the topic. So what is being done now and what has been done in the past. So what are the research gaps? So is there something missing, or if there can be any better improvement with the better techniques? So you have to do a lot of work in this area, identifying the gap in the literature. And next based on finding after we'll discuss more about this gap in the literature and how do we do all this. Next, after this first step, like you have found out the problem, there is some problem and there is no answer yet found to the world. So now you chose a methodology to solve it and method. And you, after choosing the methodology and method based on your work on research, so you give the proposal and you get an approval. And later you do the research and then you analyze the findings. So you have some ideology to work out on that, and then based on that you you do the research and you analyze the findings. So whatever you have got the results, you will analyze it, and based on that, so you're if you're okay with it, okay, these results are good and I can proceed. So then you go and write up the results. Then after that, you have write up the results, and then you go for again editing, revising, and all. And finally, you submit to the project, or you submit to some journal or something. So you give the final touches and then submit the project. So this is whole the final research project process, or a paper publication process. So this is how the research is going on in most of the places. So now coming into the first part, like you need to find a gap in the literature, right? So now what are the sources of information we have? So we know we have some topic, and from the earlier knowledge of the previous knowledge, we have some knowledge, we have some idea on the topic selection. So for example, say seismic signal analysis in using ML techniques. So this is the topic I have. So now how do I proceed further? So how do you find out what is the problem in that? What is the what has been done still now? So how do we get that information? So we have many sources of information like Google, and for research articles you have Google Scholar, and also Nature, IEEE. So these are all different publishers we have. So you can go there and we can search for the published articles already in that in that publisher areas. Like you can go to IEEE, you can go to Science Direct, Nature. So these are few of the publishers we have, famous publishers. And you can also check in Google Scholars and all based on the topic we have chosen. So by giving the year, so if you wanted to know the research that has been done in 2000 year, you can give just 2000 year, and then you can filter out and volume, issue or page number, article number, and your topic keywords. You can give, like, and give seismic signals. If I give, so I would get some journals or public journals and then the papers published in those journals also I would get it. So this is how you can search. These are all the different sources of information we have to check the status of the present the problem we have chosen. So what is the problem? To search for the problem, you have all these sources of information. So basically, before doing anything, we first need to do a rigorous literature survey and find the gaps. So one such is IEEE, you get lots of information here. And next, why? And okay, after finding out the, like, you have some problem, okay, then you try to like you have done the literature work, and then you have some methodology, you have implemented it and all done. Next important part is the journal selection. So why do we need to have a good journal selection? So we have done a very good work, and we have spent a lots of time in doing the research and all. So now the main important aspect comes in the form of journal selection. So why is it important? And main thing is the list of journals published will directly or indirectly will affect our career. So if you're choosing the academic like academic to be an academician, so that would have a very great impact. From the start itself will have very great impact. So if we publish in the good Q1 Q2 kind of journal, so our career would go on like that. So it would definitely have very good impact on the our career. So that is the first most main point. And also we have to see if the journal is peer reviewed and all. And also one more thing is we have to present our research in the best way. So, okay, we are good at doing research and we have some ideologies, new novel ideologies, and we have implemented. That's very good. But the main part would come in the form of presenting. So, the scientific world should be able to understand what we have done. So, we should be able to communicate in a good manner. So, developing this presentation and writing skills, the most important in being academician is writing skills. So we have to develop those writing skills also. I mean, in addition to doing the research, so that is also very important. So presentation of research in the best way, and affecting the career. The key points and important points while why you should choose a good journal. And coming into the journal selection, so the first step would be you should check the subject of your manuscript first. So what before publishing our work, we call the format as manuscript. So only after publishing our work in some journal, we call it as an article or a paper. So before submitting, we call that as a manuscript. So first foremost thing like any researcher would do or any academician or faculty would do is we should check for the subject. So which area we have done the research, and we should check for the journal's aim and scope. So is the journal matching to journal's aim and scope is matching to my research interest or not? So the first most point is that anyone would check. Next, second point that we need to see is we should check for readership and target audience. So how many readers are there for the journals, how many subscribers or something like that. So for the journal, how many subscribers are there and who are the target audience? So how many which country? Suppose if it is an international journal, then like the scope would be more, the audience would be worldwide. So we should check for the readership and target audience also. Next is the journal visible. The most important is the journal visibility, because only with that, most researchers and scientists would read our work, and then we get a good recognition by citing our papers. If they like, they would cite they cite our work in their paper and all. So the journal visibility, is it visibility also we should check. Is it national? Is it international? Or is it limited to few countries? So something like that. You should check the journal visibility also. And next important point is check for the CV value of the publication. So is the like the publisher is well known, and does the journals has a good impact factor, side score. Like you have to see the editorial members, who are the editorial members, and what is their what is their like CV, what is their work that has been done in that their field. Is it popular? So you should see the CV value of publication also before selecting the journal. And next, the period. The most next important point is the delay, publication delay and peer review period. So if they're taking more than a year, like 2 years, or generally most any journal would take, a good journal would take at least a year to publish, at least 6 to 12 months. Some would take at least like 15 to 18 months also. But it should not go more than that. Then our research would be delayed in publishing. So you should see the like frequency of article publications also. So check for the publishers like journals publication frequency and all. And next is charges. So like most of the publication charges, like most of the good journals would have been free of cost, but with extra some pages and all, then they would charge it. So you should see for the publication charges also taking into consideration. So there are different journal finders. You have your work ready, and you have some difficulties in finding out the journals. We don't know which journals are very good for our work. So we have some help here. So Google, you can go and search, but there are some softwares which are there for finding the journal based on work. So I would show you one such example here. So for example, Scientific Journal Finder, Lead Angel, Space, Springware, Jane. So these are all different journal finders. So I would show you one example here by using the Scientific Journal Finder. So for example, here you can see one journal finder. Now you can give your paper title. So you have your article ready, manuscript ready. So then you can give your paper title here and paper abstract. This is one such software you have, and the others I have mentioned in the PPT slide. This is one example. So you can give your title here and your abstract here and the keywords. For example, here I'm giving seismic learning. So this helps in your general selection. So I've given some three categories of research interest: computer science, because we have some AI techniques and deep learning involved. Engineering we have earth and planetary science. So you can refine your search also. You have advanced search also here. I'm just clicking find journals here. So see, I have got some journal suggestions here. So with site score, impact factor, and what is the acceptance rate, and what is the time they take for the first decision and for the publication. So these are all the different journals we have. So see, computers and geoscience, journal of applied. So these are all different. So I have got all these suggestions based on my title and my abstract keywords and the area of the research I have given. So this is how we can get to know some good journals. Like based on this impact factor and all, you can check and you can communicate with the journal. So this is how we can find out some good journals for your work based on your work by giving the title, abstract, keywords, and the area of the research. One search is I've shown you this finder. There are Arrange, Springer, Jane. So these are all the different journal finders you have. So you can just Google it and then check on these journal finders for finding out journals. And next, so this is how we select our journal. Okay, now like why choosing this journal? So by doing this, what are the advantages? Is one is building up our career by properly choosing the journal. Will build up our career, and then we should see our work matches to the journals aim and scope, because that would reduce chances of a rejection of our work. And also citations, those are also very important metrics in this academician career. So increment in citations and visibility of publication. So that I've already shown you in the previous slides. So visibility. So these are all the different advantages we have by selecting a proper and appropriate journal for our work. So this is actually like one time I've seen. So most scientists find this peer review process quite an improvement. So you can see we have this over here, and then we cross it and then get our paper accepted. So this is a peer review process. It's quite an improvement. Next, coming into publications, we have two kind basically I've divided these into index journals and non-index journals. So what are journals we have? So based on where do we have to publish our journals? So we should try to publish our journals mostly in these uh, indexed journals only. Whereas the non-indexed journals we have, they're very low quality and we don't get much recognition, and they have very less impact on research because their visibility is less, and they don't get, our work won't get much visible to the people, scientists or the other researchers in the world. So we should try to publish our work in the index journals. So index journals, Scopus Index, Web of Science Index, PubMed. So these are all the popular index journals. And your Nature Index is also one of the database. There, other affiliation information would be present. So this is the topmost, we should say, in Nature, one of the topmost publisher. And these like top 83 high quality science journals, like what are all the papers published in those 83 high quality science journals, those others affiliation information would be present in this Nature Index database. So you can check on this Nature also. So this is like one of the most famous publisher. Now we'll go in detail with the Scopus, Web of Science, and how do they categorize the journals? How do they how do they maintain the citations, how do they give priority? Like which journal is good, or how do they categorize? We would look into all that stuff now. Um, Now coming into Scopus Index Journal, so it's an L-space abstract and it is a citation database. So all the citation information and the tracking would be there in this Scopus. And that like CSAB was formed in 2009, and Scopus covers nearly 36,377 titles. That is like nothing but journals, and there are approximately 11,000 publishers. So like IEEE is one such publisher. Under IEEE, we have many journals, right? Signal processing journal or a journal on AI ML techniques. So AI ML work. So we have different journals under a single publisher also. So that is the reason why we have many journals and less publishers here. And almost Scopus covers every field of science. So they, like one cannot say that my area is not like my area doesn't have journals covered in the Scopus. So it like almost covers every area of research going on. Life sciences, be it life sciences, social sciences, physical sciences, health sciences, engineering. So any field has like most of the fields are covered under the Scopus. And how does this Scopus give the quality measurement? So how is it doing? So based on what criteria it is choosing, this journal has good like it is under Scopus index. The journal is Scopus indexed or not? How is it doing it? Based on what criteria, what quality measures it is taking into consideration? Please, it sees four quality measures. One is H index, site score, SGR, SE-Imago journal rank, and source normalized impact per paper. So we would see in detail if each of these in the later slide. So these are the four quality measure indicators that the Scopus is considering into for doing this journal quality improvement. So for example, now first we will try to see how we calculate the site score. So say for example, if you wanted to know the journal for the journal, what is the site score of the for the particular journal in year 2015. So how do we calculate that? Is so say for example, we have to see for like normally the for calculating site score we would see 3-year citation values. So here basically the value is A by B. A here means in the year 2015. So what are the how many number of citations that the papers that got published in the year 2012 has got in the year 2015 and 2013 and 2014 also. So like in 2015, for the papers published in 2012, 13, 14, how many number of citations we have got for the year 2015? And that value would be A. And B is the number of publications in the year 12, 13, and 14. So that is the total number of publications. Say for example, let the journal some A be have 10 publications in the year 2012. So for an example, this 10, and 2013 also it has some 10 publications, 14 also 10 publications. So the B value would be total publications or 30 publications. And now, for example, see, in the year 2015, the 10 the 10 papers that have been published in 2012 has some 5 citations. Say it has got some 5 citations. Similarly, for 2013 published papers also has got some 5 citations, and 2014 also 5. So then you add up all those 5 is 15. So 15 divided by 30. So that would be the site score for the journal in the year 2015. So this is how you calculate the a site score for a journal. So this is citations from 2015 and documents published in the year. So that would be the site score for that particular journal. But for a new form journals and all, this won't be index, because at least we need a 3-year or at least a 2-year information should be there. So for newly formed journals and all, we have the other factor like journal immediacy index and all. So we discuss there. So the only disadvantages are the newly formed journals. Like we cannot judge a newly formed newly established journal with the site score value. At least wait for 3 to 4 years for getting this site score value. And so this is the one of the metric that Scopus is using to calculate based on the site score. It would categorize one such factor, and H index I would discuss. Now I would just give briefing on source normalized impact per paper. So what is SNIP? So this is basically main uses of this is because like there are few areas where we don't get number of citations, where few people are only working and only few like very low research is going on there, and we will have only very less number of citations. So we just don't judge by using site score. We cannot do that because there are areas where more work is going on and there will have more citations and that more site score. But whereas there are areas also where there is less work is going on. So for that factor, so people consider this SNIP also. So what do we do here is journal citation count per paper. So in a paper, how many citations have paper have got in the particular journal, and it would also see the citation potential in its subject tree. So based on the subject, also we need to see. We just cannot judge by looking into all subjects, clubbing all the subjects. So here this SNIP looks into this factor. So this is also one such important quality metric that Scopus is looking into. So this is also very important based on the subject field. And next is the SEMAGO journal rank. So SJR indicator, this is basically, it's a measure of influence of scholarly journals, and it takes into account two parameters. One is what are the number of citations decided by the journal, and the journal citation, the prestige of the journals where such citations come from. So this indicator would help in situations where, say for example, we at the initial stages of a career, we just doesn't know where to publish our work or something. So we have just published like that in some non-index journals or somewhere else. So which is very not popular. So but even though our work got citations from like people who are published in IEEE, paper that got published in IEEE, they might have taken our work into consideration, and all they have taken those into consideration. I mean, the IEEE papers published in the IEEE, they have cited our paper, even though ours is a low index journal. So then, like we will have the weightage, right? So that point also, the prestige of journals where such citations are coming from. So even though we have published in the low index journals, so we got a citation from a good, very popular publisher. So then that point, that also adds I mean, weightage into it. So SE, when doing this SGR journal rank, SE Mago journal rank, that is also taken into consideration. So that is the reason this is also very important, SE Mago journal rank. And this base SE Mago journal rank, it is a publicly available, and it also includes the journals and country-specific indicators developed from the information contained in the Scopus. So it is basically taking the information from the Scopus database. As the Scopus is already using for quality metrics, and it is doing its citation, it is maintaining its citation indexes. This SC Imago takes the data from the Scopus database and uses that to categorize the journals and giving the ranks. So we would see one. So we would go into this site and check on one journal. So how do we get all that? So basically, these journals can be grouped by subject area, like 27 major thematic areas, and each subject 313 specific subject categories, and also by country. By country also you can just check on the ranking and all. And the citation data is drawn from over 34,000 titles, more than like 5,000 internal public. It is considering all these factors. So this, like while we are trying to find out the journal, so this SEMAGO country journal and country rank would also play a vital role in our journal selection. And I would show you one such. For example, see, I've already given this SEMAGO journal and country ranks. For example, see, I've just taken this journal of the Electrochemical Society. So I have seen what is the H index of the journal. So I would tell you how to calculate H index in the further slides. So publisher will get, and the country. So we will have something like this. You can just go on Google SE Mago ranking, journal and country ranking, and give the title. So okay, using the journal finder or something, or by already if you're aware of your journal, so you can just go on, click here in the search area for getting the information. Here we can just check it. Check on. For example. This is this is one of my Journal of Applied Geophysics. It comes under Earth and Planetary Sciences. So I publish it as elsewhere. You'll get all this information, H index value and coverage from when it has started and what is the coverage it has till now, and all ISSN information. Is it a public, is it a journal or a conference or something? You can check. And what is the scope? What is the aim and scope? You can check here. And we can check here the quartiles geophysics here Q2. So I would tell you what is this Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. So this is also one very good parameter while selecting a journal. So you'll get all this information here. How many articles are cited till now from the year 1999 to self citations, how many have done total citations. So external citations apart from elsewhere who have all cited. So all this information you will have here. What is the present journal status? Is it Q1, Q2 or Q3, Q4? So that value and SGR value. So all this information you will have here. After selecting the journal, after choosing the journal, you can, before choosing itself, you can check on here also. So basically it divides into four quartiles. One is Q1, Q2, Q3, and Q4. Q1 is like, for example, say, subject area, say we have some 100 journals. So based on the Scopus data available, based on the metrics from the Scopus database, what this SGR does is it would categorize the top 25%. So in the, like we have 100 journals, right? The top 25% journals in that subject area would be categorized into Q1. And the next set of 25% journals would be categorized into Q2. And the next 25% would be under Q3. And next top 25% would be in the Q4. So like based on the value assessment values, it would categorize into Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. So the top 20, suppose so I have 400 journals. Among the 100 journals, the top 25 journals would come into Q1. And the next 25 journal and the next top 25 journals after the first set would come into Q2, and next would be Q3, and next would be Q4. So this is how these categorizations are done. And now everyone should try to do it from publish their work in the Q1 and Q2. Mostly they should try to do it in the Q1 and Q2 instead of Q3 and Q4. So Q1 and Q2, if we try to publish our work, it would be worthy. And few information about this SEMAGO journal rank is till now the ratio has the highest H index value nature. And next CK, it has the highest SGR value, Cancer Journal to Clinician. So this is just some info about these values and all. And US is in the first place in these rankings, and next UK and Germany following. And then India is in the 21st position, and its overall H index is 500. So this SEMAGO journal ranking, it can be for a person, like this H index value can be for a person, for a country, and for an university. For an university also, we will have these values. So for assessment. Next is Web of Science Index. So it is something like opus. Here, this Web of Science takes into consideration like impact, influence, timeliness, peer review, and the geographic representations. All these parameters, all these like while selecting under Web of Science, what are all the journals it should come. So it decides based on all these impacts, influence, and time. So what's the time it is taking to publish, or the peer review process, how is it going on? So based on all these parameters, the journal would be categorized into Web of Science. So the first most important thing is impact factor. So we would see how they're calculating the impact factor. So say for example, it is similar to some site score, but here we are taking it for a 2 years. So we will have impact for some journals. You could see 2-year impact factor, 5-year impact factor. So we have something information like we will have in the journals, a 2-year impact factor. So how do they calculate it? So for a particular year, say for example, if you wanted to have find out the impact score in 2014. So look into the publications in the 2012 and 2013. So that how many publications are being done in the journal. So total publications, that is 860. For example, say here some numbers 860 plus 869 publications have been done in the year 12 and 13. So now you're trying to calculate for the year 2014. So take for the previous 2 years, 2012 and 2013, and then add them. And then next in the numerator, take the citations in the 2012 paper and number of citations the paper have got in the 2012 and 2013. How many, some say they have got some 29,753 and all. So this is for nature impact factor in 2014. So that value have come up to 41.456. So this is how the impact factor is calculated for journal. Normally, your impact factor would be calculated in most of the cases that you take for a particular year. If you wanted to calculate, check for the previous 2 years publications and citations for the 2-year papers you have got in the year 2014. So this is how we calculate the impact factor. This is most important thing that it would consider Web of Science indexing. So this is and such example here you can see. So year of publication. So some 2016, 2017, you have number of articles 50 and 70, and overall citations for these 2 publications in the year 2018 is, say for example,
Vinila, sometimes you just answer for the queries as well.
okay.
Because participants are floating some queries. So it is
Yeah,
better that if we answer the queries, we'll be in touch with the participants so that the session will. So, okay, na?
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah. Later you can continue from where you started.
Okay.
Means if we answered the queries now, then the participants will be something like interactive.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, Ra, over to you.
Yeah, I would check on the chat box.
Yeah, you are accessible for that. You please.
I could see some journals are in UGC care list, but they're not in Scopus. Can we publish in those journals for PhD consideration? Is one such question. So is it compulsory to publish particular Scopus index journals only? Example, computer subject has to publish in computer related Scopus journals. Please give a general Scopus site to publish all kind of journals. So basically, it depends on the universities. Say for example, few universities demand for SCI index journals compulsory. It, for PhD, getting a PhD degree, we need to at least have it at least to, it depends on the university actually. If it is okay, say for example, in my university, we should have at least 2 conferences and 2 journals which are SCI indexed. So we should have 2 journals, 2 journal publications and 2 conferences. So it depends on the university actually. And but nowadays most of them are asking for SCI rather than Scopus. Also, they are asking for SCI indexed journals. So it would be good if you try to publish in good SCI index journals. I would say it depends on the university. That's my answer. And this Scopus and this information, as I said, you can get it in Journal Finder. Is it? You have the site for Scopus also, right? So you can go and search there for the Scopus index journals based on your subject area and field. So you can check it on there. And using these journal finders also, we get some journals. And could set the state, you can see in SCMago journal and content there also. You could search for your with the keyword, you can search for the journals there also. So one based on this Q1, Q2 and all, it would be easy to find out a good journal. So I would suggest to publish in a good scope, at least in Scopus and Web of Science indexed journals. So you get information there in this in the Tesimago journal and country rankings and in Scopus website also. So any points to add that to ma Krishna Venima? Hello. Hello.
Yes, ma'am, you are audible.
Yeah, okay. Next, I have so this is my answer. Most of the questions are based on Scopus journals, which is the best journal publishers and all. So that depends on your subject area and all. It depends on that. So we have to search and categorize accordingly. And if the journal is listed in Scopus index but not updated on Scopus side, then what to do? Journal is listed in Scopus index. Oh, if it is if it is authenticated with Scopus index, we can publish there. That's not an issue in my opinion. And if journal discontinues before update, then what to do? Yeah, that is to be taken care by us, right? If journal discontinues before update, then what to do? Okay. That you should actually check for the current status in the Scopus database before getting into the publication. So better, that is the reason why instead of doing it in Q3 and Q4, if you do it in Q1 and Q2 journals, we would be on a safer side. If this year it might be Scopus indexed. Let's say for example, one journal, it might be Scopus in the it is indexed in the Scopus in the year 2019, but whereas in 2020 it has been discontinued, it was not eligible. So that mostly they would be under Q4 or Q3 journals. So better go for Q1 and Q2 instead of Q3 and Q4 to be on a safer note, I would suggest. Yeah, I think I think I have answered at least few queries. So now I would continue. I would continue my. So I would take again at the end. So coming back into the calculations of the impact factor of the journal Y in the year 2018. So you have seen A plus B divided by M plus N. So you have 25 cite plus 35 citations divided by 50 plus 70. So you have an impact factor of 0.5 for that particular journal. So this is the journal 2-year journal impact factor. So this is what I have told you in the previous slide, the calculation. And next we have for your journals, they're giving the 5-year journal impact factor also. Number of citations to a journal in a given year from articles occurring in the past 5 years. So from the past 5 years, it would take the data, like citing the difference. Suppose, for example, if you wanted to calculate the 5-year, like if you wanted to see what is this 5-year impact factor of the journal, say for example, in the 2019 year, it would see the articles published in the journal from 2014 to 18, that is 14, 15, 16, 17 and 18. It is for 5 years. 5 years it would count, it would see the publications, number of publications and also the citations that they have received in the year 2019. So all these facts, like these are the two, like 5 years instead of 2 years, here they are calculating 5 years. So that would give a more insight into the journal, quality of the journal. So some few journals they are mentioning on their websites about this 5-year journal impact factor also. And next, coming into immediacy index. So what is this immediacy index is? Like average number of times an article is cited in the year it is published. So as I told you earlier, this immediacy index would help for it, like newly formed journals, newly established journals. So they don't have the information, earlier information to give the score or to give the impact factor. So this immediacy index would help out in choosing the journal. So for that particular year, you can actually see. So for example, the journal has wanted to see in the year 2019. It has started. Now you see the number of publications that has happened in the year 2019 divided by the citations that they have got in the year 2000. So for that particular year itself, you would calculate the index, immediacy index. So the technique is same, number of citations divided by the number of publications. So that would be the immediacy index value. So this immediacy index would help like in quickly assessing the journal. So the journal immediacy index indicates how quickly articles in a journal are cited. So how quick the citations are happening. And this aggregate immediacy index is how quickly articles in a subject category are cited. So in a subject category, how quickly articles are being categorized. So this all we can check on using this immediacy index. And there is something called cited half-life. This is just like based on the, I'll show you the graph. Your time frame of indexes. So which index would take how much of time is, say for example, time after publication. So we have published some journal here. So we have we are seeing the time after publication. Say at the start, at least this would be normally a graph for any article that we have published. So at least 50% of say we have like 100 citations. After 50 citations, we will draw a vertical line. So that is called the cited half-life. And impact this immediacy index is at the initial stages. That is immediacy index window. And in between the immediacy index window and the cited half-life, you have some impact factor window. Like say for like 2-3 years after publishing, you have this. You can see this impact factor window here. So these are all the time frames. Immediately, if you wanted to see, you can have this immediacy index. If impact factor at least for 2 years or 3 years, and the cited half-life after cited half-life is like 50% of citations. So these are all the different perspectives in time frame of indexes. And next thing is so these are all the research indicators. So impact factor is the fast indicator, and then impact factor for a journal you can calculate, right? So that would be the fast indicator. And citations we should wait. We should wait a long period for getting the citations. And your contribution in the work is ultimately the most important thing. Your contribution in the work, and is it a Scopus or WS index journal? So that is also one of the research indicator. So these are all the different research indicators, fast indicator, and this long waiting and your contribution in the Scopus journals. So try to hit these journals when you're trying to publish, or nature index journals. So that would be the top. Science, Nature Group, NAS, WILC, APS, ACS, RSC, OAOP, AIP. So these are all the different journals you have in publishing. So if you hit these journals, it would be it would be a great work on you in your domain. If your article gets published, like your manuscript gets published here, that would be a great thing. Would add a good weightage to our resume also. And our work would be focused, and we would get more number of readings and citations from if we can publish here. And also coming into affiliation and authorship, also the first author would be who would be designing and conceiving the study, and he's write the first draft and partners with the last author for subsequent. So this is the most common information anyone know. And the last author would be the one who is partnering with the first author, and he's trying to give interpretation, analysis, and writing, and who is giving us some of second author, third author. So we would give their affiliations based on the work they have contributed in our work manuscript. And you would give your institution affiliation also in the comments in the manuscript. So that would also add Now coming to the last part in this metrics. So as I've told you, this H index is very important. H index, G index, and IT index. So, I have given some YouTube link here also based what are these indexes and the information about this index will be available here too. Now we would see what is this H index and how do we calculate it. See, for example, there are some 12 publications for a person, and the citations he have received. For paper 1, say he has got 26, paper 2, 12, and so on like this. For paper 12, he has got 4 citations. So this is the data we have. So now, how do we calculate a H index for that person, for that researcher? How do we do that? First, what we can do is we can give the ranking wise. So actually, we doesn't need to do that. This is already being done. You can see these values in Google Scholar. I would show you that. But to get a deep insight into it, I'm just giving you the calculation here. How do we do that? The rank. So first, based on the citations, you give the rank. So see, 29 is the highest number of citations that person has got, researcher has got. So 29, 26, 15, 14. So give it from descending order, like the highest to the lowest. And based on that, give the rank. So okay, done. And just give the publication number, paper 6, paper 1. So this is just, so based on the rank, based on the citations number, give the rank. So the highest number of citations would be the first rank. So now check till where the citations are greater than the rank. Citation value should be greater than the rank, greater than or equal to the rank. So you can see here. So 29 is greater than 1. 26 greater than 2. Yeah. See 12 greater than 5. 11 greater than 6. 11 greater than 7. And 9, is it greater than 8? No. Sorry. Yeah, yes. And next 7. 7 is greater than 9. No. So now his H index would be 8. So you have to check till citations greater than or equal to rank. So till that point, it is okay. So when that criteria doesn't meet, so stop it, and then that would be the his H index. So this particular researcher H index is 8. So based on the citations and the category, based on the papers, his H index value is 8 here. So number of what is this H index is where the number of citations are greater than or equal to rank. So the number of citations should be greater than or equal to rank. So this is one such metric. H index is one such metric. So you can check this in Google Scholar. So if anyone wants to give me your Google Scholar, you can just tell me, or I will show you someone else Google where this H index, item index will be there. Can give me in the chat box. So if anyone has a Google Scholar account. I will just show you some researcher from my university only. So he's doing his research in physics. So you can see, for example, this is one such Google Scholar account. So you can see the citations, H index and item index here. So H index is 27. You can see here. Means like 27 papers have like more than citations have more than the rank value. So that is the H index value. That would be if you created a Google Scholar account. So your citations, you can see the citations here cited by how many citations you have got for particular paper. So all that information you have, and within year wise in Google Scholar, it's just like a database. Even 51. See all this number of citations they have got. Check who all have cited also, you would get that information here. So that paper has been cited by who and all. So that information also you will have it here. It's not being tracked here in Google Scholar. You can see the graphical analysis of. So this is one. This is where you can create your Google Scholar account and track it. So this is the H index. while recruiting in universities and all, also they are looking into these indexes also. H index, what is the value? I-10 index, what is citations, how many they have got till now. So these are all like added advantages to the researcher or a faculty. So I hope H index, you have got an idea of what is H index. So moving on to this is just a comparison for three authors, author A, author B, and author C. Based on the citations, we have given the rank, and for author B, we have done the same process. And you can see here the rank H index is 6 for this author, and H index is 5 for this author, and H index is 5 for this author. So you can see, even though citations are more for a single particular paper, his H like he has more citations, but still the author has H index as 5 only. That is because you should just not only focus for like you can see here only one or two articles are very high, 220, 180 and all. Here like he might have not concentrated more on what we can say, he has done only in particular research for a particular period of time, and after that he might have taken a break or something. So that is one such possible scenario where this can happen. I'm just giving an example, so that all factors are also would come inevitably into this calculations. So you can see H index is 6 for this author, even though citations are very less when compared to this author. So this is one such factor. H index, it happens this way also. So here the other rank is 5, and here it is also 5, and here he has a more H index value rather than all the other C. Next, I-10 index is also one of I've shown you earlier. I-10 index. So here I-10 index is like if you have citations greater than or equal to 10. So if a particular paper you have greater than or equal to 10 citations, then that is the I-10 index value. Say the same process. You have some papers, you have citations, you arrange it in a highest to lowest order, and then check for citations greater than 10. So you can see right here, this is the till this point he has more than 10 citations. Till this paper he has more than 10 citations. So his I-10 index would be 7. This is also one such factor. At least 10 citations for a paper. If you have greater than 10, how many papers you have, like for how many papers you have citations greater than 10. So that is the rank. That is the I-10 index value 7 here. 7 is the I-10 index for this particular researcher. And next is G index. G index was proposed by Leo Ego in his paper Theory and Practices of G index, and it is a unique index because it has the largest number such that the top key articles received at least G square citations. So rather than showing this, I would show you an example so it would have a better understanding. Publications, you have a publications here, and you the same you do it. Citations, you have arrange it in the highest to lowest order, the rank and the citations. What you do is you do the cumulative sum for the citations. Say you had 29. 29 plus 26, next citations. 29 plus 26 would be 55. 55 plus 14, 15 would be 70. So you do the cumulative addition to the citations, and you have got some 146 still here, and you do the rank square. 1 square 1, 2 square 4, 3 square 9, 4 square 16. So you do the squaring, and like what would be the G index value is till sigma C greater than or equal to R square. So you can see here till end 146 is greater than or equal to 144. It's greater than 144. So his G index would be 146. So his G index is 146. So this is also one such a parameter. So but mostly the researchers would be like using mostly H index, and Scopus also would take into consideration the H index values rather than this G index and I-10 index. So H index plays a prominent role. That is, you would have good H index only if you are consistent. Like if we are consistent in our research area, and for a long period of time, we should be doing the research. So because based on that only we would be having our citations and all. So you could see here from this example also when we have compared with other A, other B, and other C, the one who is consistent has this H index, the greater value 6. So this is the like most important like quality metric like Scopus is also taking into account. So this is one such factor. G-item, and these are all the different indexes that we need to see. And okay, yeah, that's all from quality metrics point of view. So that is the end for now. And next part is this after submission, you have some publication procedure. Like if most of peer reviewed, I was saying peer reviewed. So what is this peer reviewed is? Now when you submit to a like you submit, you're an author and you submitted the you have selected the journal based on all these quality metrics. You have seen everything. Okay, okay, my work is I feel my work is eligible for this journal, and I think it could get publication there. So you feel that, and you have chosen a journal, and now you're ready to submit. So you have submitted the like based on the guide, and also you should see the journal guidelines. So they have their own formats. Like few give us to write it in the latex format, convert it to. So if you're writing Word, convert it to latex, or they're doing different, they have their own format. So before submitting, you should go and check onto the journal's website and then follow their guidelines. So what is the length of the paper, like what length of the paper, like pages, how many number of pages, and the font sizes, and sections and figures and tables and all, how should we give. So those all the guidelines would be present on the website of that particular journal you have selected. So based on that, try to put the draft in the format and then give the submission to the journal. Then after that, the procedure for normally, this is the procedure for any of the good journal. So editor will be assigned to the manuscript. First step would be editor. This is the publication procedure. So editor would be assigned to the manuscript, and then editor assigns the reviewers. So editor was assigned, then the editor will assign the reviewers to inspect the paper. Some 2-3 reviewers would be assigned to that particular paper. And then the reviewer, next step would, those reviewers will decide on whether to review a paper. So they would do the first check. Editor would do the first check, the guidelines and all, if we have followed or not. And based on that, after that only he would assign the reviewers to a paper, and the reviewers would decide on our area, because the reviewers would be more focused on our area, because our work related review like faculty or scientists would be assigned to our work, so they would know deep about our paper, our manuscript work. So they would see first time, and they would see, okay, it is relevant, and it is okay, I feel it is novel. So then they would go on inside to the paper, and then they'll review it, inspect, and then they do edit it, and they give us some revision. So okay, if we do it in this format, it would have been better. So they would give some revisions to us. So they decide on the accuracy and whether to accept our paper. So if it is very excellent, they would accept it first sight, but it rarely happens. Okay, then they would give us some revisions, and then editor decides on the accuracy. Now these reviewers would report to the editor about these revisions and all. They're suggesting. So now editor decision is the final decision. So whether okay, revisions are very less, so they can do it. So I would not I mean, if they do the revisions, I would accept the paper. So he might think like that, and he would send the revisions to the author. If accepted, editor sends paper back to the author with revisions. Okay, if he feels it is okay, accepted, then he will ask the author to make the revisions recommended by the reviewers. Then editor will send the author back the paper. Then author revises the paper and he sends it back. So we do the revision and we will send it back. And we might, okay, if it is good, then reviewers would check it. Okay, it's fine. Then papers would get accepted. If not, they would still, they feel that some more has to be added. They would give again some more details should be added, or some more revisions they might give, and then it would go for second review process. So okay, then again we would send our revisions, or okay, then it is on file. Then we will get our publication. So it happens. So this is a lengthy process that has been from journal to journal actually. So the timing and all, it would differ from journal to journal. So a good journal would at least a year to publish our work. Acceptance will be getting earlier, at least 6 months or 7 months. But the publication and all, it might take till more time to publish our. So this is the journal publication procedure by any good peer-reviewed journal. And at the end, to note the scientific, I would like to focus on this scientific misconduct also. One such thing is give the authorship. So, like, he is my relative, he is my friend. So, we should just not give them the gift or authorship. Okay, I'll write his name. He's my friend, he's my colleague, or something. So, only if they're truly contributing to your paper or to your work or helping with your work, then we should give their like affiliation in our paper. Or you just couldn't. These are just the misconducts and your own. Uh, uh, Opinion about this gifting the authorship. So better not to give just like that, give the authorship. And the redundant publication. So publication in multiple journals at the same time. So that is also one of the misconduct. And plagiarism, so that's most important. This is just one whole topic about this plagiarism. You need to have some software on this. So basically, if you write your own words, we will not get any kind of plagiarism, and we just need not check it also. So better try to frame it in our own sentences, our own work, instead of just copying it from the other sources. And fabrication, like you add up something on the top of our data or something and trying to portray it in some other different way. So that is also not good. That is also a misconduct that we should not avoid doing it. And falsification of the data, even though if we don't get results, we are focusing it as we have got the results and we are showing it. So that is also a very bad thing that we should avoid doing it. And fabrication, falsification, conflict of interest. So these are all just a few points I would like to add at the end, because this is also very important in the scientific society. So if you're doing any and if later point in career, if some journal or some other researcher, the scientist finds out this and try to, and if they communicate it to that particular journal, so we would be in trouble. If we have done all this, they would resticate, like they would take out the like our publication, and they would not, that particular journal would not allow us to publish in our lifetime also. So this is also very, very important, like that we as an academicians would see that we're not doing it. So this has a great impact on our later part of careers. And next, this is just I mean, when you're writing a manuscript, this is just like a guideline, how it would be easy to write a manuscript. So if you have your work is done, and first you try, if you can try to figure it, like if you try to portray your work in a figures, and also if you work on figures, that would be easy. First, if you can figure with the figures, you keep your figures ready. Then like some tables or analysis you have made, and so results and all, you can put it in the tabular format. So first make ready, give it some tentative title, and then prepare the figures and table, and then go for introduction, and then results and discussion, and then come to abstract and collect the references in parallel. So this is how if we can portray our work in a more figurative and tabular formats, that would be very catchy thing to the reviewers and all also. So figures are the backbone of the manuscript. As in my opinion, it is figures are the backbone, because by seeing in a paper, if you're reading also, if there is a figure, so a block diagram and all, and tables, if you see, so your concentration would go there, and you would check, and you will get some understanding, easy understanding of that particular manuscript. So better work more on the figures and introduction also, because most of the as researchers, most of us, what we do is we read the abstract and introduction part. Yes or no? Yes, we do that. Introduction and abstract we would read, and based on that we would check. We would see if it is relevant to our work. Okay, we can read further. So introduction part also is very important. So in a paper, if you're doing it the first glance or first reading, mostly what we would do is check the title, abstract, introduction, and figures and tables. So we would see on that. Our focus, our concentration would go on to that. So So concentrate more on these in a manuscript while writing a manuscript. So that would be a very good, start for writing a paper. Sorry, manuscript. So this is just in my opinion. Yeah, and yeah, thank you. Like any questions from your end, you can just chat box, and I would give some like what is the research I'm doing right now. I would give you in just 2 minutes. I'll just brief in 2 minutes. I can say could like past publication. Yeah, these details you can get it in the journal finder I've shown you, right? So the acceptance rate and all will be there. Like if you like you will they will give the percentage. Like what is the acceptance rate and all be there in that journal finders. So you can check it on there, Ranjan. And lots of call and advertising agencies calling from South India, especially for supporting publication. Yeah, I would suggest not to go with them. Just do your own Google research, Google search, and these using these journal finders and all, and going into the websites and SE Mago journal rank. So based on, I would suggest go along with this, not with the like some mails and all. Yeah, we do get some mails and advertising agencies that your paper would get published in 1 month or 2 months and all. Better don't go for that. Do your own research on the journal using these sources I've shared earlier with SE Mango Journal and country rankings and journal finders. So that would be more appropriate in publishing your work. So instead of going into this advertising, only that giving into just insight into my work that I'm doing. So basically, you see, the seismic exploration, like we, in layman terms, to tell if we wanted to find the minerals or the content, like what is present deep inside this. We do have crude oil, minerals, gas, and all present in the earth subsurface layers. So there is some lengthy, like we have a process, like we call it a seismic exploration. So that is basically we try to find out the content, or like what is the mineral or gas deposit that is present in deep inside the earth. So we just we cannot just go and dig deep inside into the earth layers and we cannot just get the data. So there is procedures like we have. For example, you can see here vibrated truck. So we will send, what we will do is we would send some vibrations into the deep inside the earth here. Yeah, you can see here. You will send the deep inside the earth, you would send the waves, and you would put some sensors here, some receivers, you say some geophones in our seismic terms. So you collect the reflected waves here and you analyze those waves. So based on the information from the waves, we can actually predict what mineral or what gas is present, or is there rock inside, or is there a sand inside, shales inside, which mineral is present. So based on the reflected data collected at these sensors on the earth locations, different locations, we would place these sensors and we would collect the information. So basically, this is the process that is being done in seismic exploration. So based on the data collected from the sensors, we would predict that. So this while you're sending the seismic waves and predicting and collecting the sense like information from the sensors, you do have lots of noise. You have some environmental disturbances. So and also you have something called like while predicting. So from the data, you should be able to predict which gas is. So they have some parameter or like properties, right? Like we say elastic properties like density, velocity. So these are all the different parameters that we need to assess. So for that denoising, we say we have so much of noise. So we need to denoise the signals before analyzing. We need to denoise it. We have to remove the noise from that, or else we would get into false predictions. So the first most important thing is we should denoise the seismic signals and then do the appropriate prediction. So for this purpose, we are using there are different techniques available in the literature, so like in the survey. So I would just don't go into deep into that. So we are trying to use the DLB, it's fast denoising autoencoder for denoising, and also we say predicting the mineral or gas comes under seismic inversion. So we are trying to do that prediction also using this seismic like DL techniques, using the DL techniques, because the present techniques and all, they are very computationally complex, and it would also need an expert to analyze and all. We need an expert, and it would consume time for the particular resources also. So to reduce the time of computations and effort that present research an expert is taking, we are trying to reduce that all that stuff here. So we are trying to use this DL techniques into the seismic technology. So that is the work we are doing currently. And okay, I could see some queries here. One second. Yeah, 1 minute. Hold on, I'll check it. Yeah, Orchid. Yeah, it's recently being asked by all the most popular publishers, Orchid ID and all. So this is like a unique identifier. You should say that you can just go into the Orchid website and you can actually create your Orchid ID, and there you will have a track of all your research work that you are doing it. Like you grant, if you have got any affiliations, you have grants, professional information. You can connect your ID. So say for example, if you have worked somewhere in a company for 2 years, so that and all information will be would you can give it there, and that would be linked to your ID. And then that when you're giving in the publisher, like in your manuscript, they would check on our Orchid ID, and that would add advantage to your work. So this is being using recent. I heard it recently. I heard it, and we have created it. And most of the research like publisher are asking for this Orchid ID before. Before, like after submitting a journal, that is one of the guidelines. Like you should have your Orchid ID. You should create your own Orchid ID. So there is there is more to see on this Orchid ID. You can search it on Google. So it is good to have your own Orchid ID. That is what I would say. Like you can share this information. You can just give your ID to anyone else to check on your work, what you have done, and so all that recognition, contributions, and all you will have in this Orchid ID. Orchid ID, like if you have this Orchid ID. And what is CV? Okay, CV is like curriculum vitae, like you have your own resume. We say it resume, right? So that you have to check for the like CV for the publisher means nothing but what is the journal impact factor, editorial board members, the importance of for them, and like importance of the work they have been doing in that their domains, and also those that all that is like CV. CV means like what do we write about our contributions and all, right? And that would reflect into our CV. So in the same way for a publisher also, or for a publisher or a journal, CV would be the journal's impact factor, editorial members, so the content and frequency of publication. So that and all comes under CV there. Yeah, that's all I could see. Yeah. Any more questions to answer? So that's all from my end. If you have any questions, you can get it in chat box.
So we request any more questions from the participants? Okay. So Vinila, thank you very much for offering your assistance to the session. So it's like we are about to hear a lot of things about our research, like how to get it published, how it should be novel, and how we have to get a good impact factor journal, and how to increase the H index. These are all the thoughts of minds to the researchers and the scholars. So your session was very informative to them who are in some kind of a hallucination that how to go proceed and how to get it done, something like that. So for those people, so it was very, very informative, and the team of this FTP really appreciating you for your willingness to help the knowledge sharing session for the participants in the research aspects, as well as you shared some kind of a novelty platforms like which we can, I mean, the scholars can, what do you say, acknowledge, and they can publish their journals, how to get that, calculate the H indexes, how to they increase the research proposal, and all, like how to increase their curriculum vitae weightage and all. You made it, the presentation very well, and made the students, sorry, participants very understandable way. And you clarified all the participants' queries as well. And I hope we are end of this moment for this session. Thank you very much, Vinita, on behalf of the participants as well as this STTP team, as an alumni coordinator and towards the Department of ECS. I thank you very much for the session. Thanking you, Ma.
Yeah, thank you for the positive feedback, ma'am. So thank you for giving me this opportunity, also for sharing my opinion on and my views on this.
Yeah,
Thank you so much. Thank you all the participants.
yeah, Vinila. Thank you so much. Yeah. Participants, you can take a break of 5 minutes. Again, it is 1:30, 1:35. You can come back, sure, and take a break of 5 minutes. And we have another session, Python hands-on session with Dr. Ramesh Kumar Bajada. So take a break of 5 minutes and come back again at 11:35. We'll be continuing the session. Thank you very much. Sridevi ma'am, anything to say more?
No, ma.
Ah.
Actually, you mentioned the time wrong, so that's why I have been
Uh-huh.
switched
Yeah,
on my mic.
let them know, ma'am, when shall I come back?
11:35, because you mentioned it as a 1:30 previously, so that's why I switch on
Okay,
my
okay.
mic.
Yeah, yeah. One,
Yeah,
yeah, 11:35. Yes.
yes, yes. Already sir is online, so we'll be back at 11:35 for Ramesh for practice hands-on session on Python.
Sure, ma'am. Sure, ma'am. So participants, please make a note of it and get back at 11:35 sharp. Thanking you.
Ramesh sir, are you there?
Yes, madam.
Yes, sir. Now you are the presenter. You can check
Okay.
it out.
Okay.
And with your permission, we can start the session, sir.
Yeah, I am ready, madam. Just 1 minute, I will start.
Okay, okay. Sir.
Very good morning, all the participants. I have shared the screen. So, my voice, is it clear and screen? I hope it's visible. Anything, any issue, you can type in the chat. Very good morning to all. So I welcome you all to this session. Python Python programming hands-on practice. Okay, it's clear. Okay, nice. I would like to thank all the participants who in this learning 3 weeks of FDP. So active participation in the 3 weeks of activity. I appreciate all the participants. So as usual, we expect 2 weeks program also. So who are new to this 2 weeks FTP, so they can follow the previous lectures which are available on internet. So it is a continuation of the previous sessions. Earlier in the 3 weeks FTP, we have learned the language basics are foundation. Like what are the identifiers, what are the keywords? They are all very important. It doesn't seem to be very important. Just I have attended one interview panel. In that, in the technical interview, one question was asked to one candidate: "What is the sequence of underscore symbol in Python language?" That's it. Simple question they asked. Okay. Actually, we have learned this in our identifiers concept. Okay. The variable starting with underscore, it is private. Double underscore, it's strictly private. They are simple question. So that's why language fundamentals also very important. Attempt the interviews and all. So what topics we have covered so far, all are available on internet in your classroom. Keywords, data, and composing topics and so forth. In the same order, you should learn Python language. As far as my knowledge is concerned, so that is the perfect learning path of Python language. Okay. First, you should start with the language fundamentals and then go with the Python data structures. So in these 2 weeks of program, we are going to learn in depth, in detail, with the real-time implementation of Python data structures. Here, not only we discuss it is a data type, we're going to discuss what is its importance in machine learning, where these data structures are used. Everything we're going to learn the perspective of machine learning applications and it's our designing. So in this what topic we have learned, and go with what topic to be learned, become a machine learning engineer or a data scientist. Okay. So first we have discussed the concepts of identifiers. So next followed by reserved words or keywords. So next one is operators. So in the same order you should learn operators, then input output in Python, followed by control statements, then followed by Python sequences. In that we have covered Python strings. Okay, so we have learned these concepts: identifiers, keywords, operators, input output, control statements, and followed by strings. Okay, string is one of the most important data type in Python. So we have learned all the important concepts of strings. How to access a string, how to create the string, what is mutability, immutability, important functions on strings. Okay, so these things we have learned for strings. Control statements in any programming language, they are the core part, and to write the logics must have a very good idea on these control statements that we have covered decision making and all. The input output is one of the fundamental operations in any programming language, and operators keywords I have covered all the logical points. Okay, so you can refer the videos if you have any queries, we can post it. Okay, so this is all about Python basic, Python language basics. Okay, this module is called Python language basics. Language. So now, from today onwards, we're going to learn other important concepts of Python language. So now in this session, we're going to introduce Python collections or Python data structures or Python collections. Okay. So in Python data structures or Python collections, let me write it as collections. Sometimes they call as sequences are used. So in Python collections, first we are going to see the list. One is tuple. Next one is set, and next one is the dictionary. Okay, these are important. Actually, list, tuple, dictionary are very important data structures or collections for machine learning engineers or data scientists. So list, tuple, dictionary. These three are the most important data structures or collections. Okay. So next level, we are going to learn Python collections. So each of these collection, I will talk in depth detail. So, and we see these applications of these data structures in our machine learning, and you have linear regression. There are different types of machine learning models. So one must understand the mathematical background behind the machine learning models. That is very, very important. Okay. In fact, you call one simple function called linear regression or linear model using Python library, you will get it. But want to explore, learn the mathematical background behind each of these machine learning models. Okay, so actually, how do we implement that? That you can do is data structures. In fact, the linear regression, what we have learned, y equal to mx plus c, using different sample points, you can implement with the list. Okay, if possible, I will show within the same session or in the next session. I will show you how to implement the practically. Okay, actually, you use the notebook, simply you are importing pandas or numpy, and creating is available to build those type of functions. Those things I will cover once we are very good with this. Okay. The next module or in the next session, I will learn Python functions, modules, Python functions, modules, packages. So here we are going to learn the concepts called what are the functions, how to define user defined functions. Next one, types of arguments. Okay. So nesting of functions in Python, you can write a function within another function. It's called nested functions. So I think you have heard sometimes Python it can return multiple values a function. Okay. So is that statement correct or not? Okay. So generally we hear these type of statements. Okay. Python multi-line comments. Otherwise, taking multiple values of input. Okay. To analyze logically whether the statements are okay. Functions. Then how to define the modules. Then followed by what are the packages. Okay. How to define our own packages and using the packages in other Python programs. These things we are going to cover. Python functions, modules, and packages. Okay. Then followed by Python object orientation. In fact, file management also important. Sometimes what happens, your float files, since they are not generated by any technology, those are called float files. Actually, CSV files, your notepad text files, those are called float files. So how to handle the data which is available in the float files? Okay. Then you must use the files concept. You must read line by line in that file and you store it in a list or something. You should manipulate it. File management also important. Actually, here also files concept you should learn. And Python object orientation. Here we should learn the concept called classes, objects, classes. These are all advanced concepts of Python. Classes, objects, inheritance, and followed by exceptions. So this is our roadmap in this 2 weeks learning of Python language. Okay. So here, okay. Meanwhile, any queries you can type the chart window. We'll check one by one. Issue. Okay. So this is our roadmap for this 2 weeks session. I'm trying to cover already this part we have covered the first 3 weeks schedule. This 2 week schedule, I hope we have got more time slots so that I can cover all this one by one. Okay. So if we have some time, we will cover another concepts here. There are some regular expressions. Okay. So multi-threading concepts are there, and there is one more concept called database connectivity. For Python full stack developers, that's required. Okay. So let us begin with this part. Already we have covered. Now we are going with this Python collections. Okay. I hope this is clear. It will give you the clear picture about your learning path this coming 2 weeks. Okay. Good. So now let us start our discussion with the first one called list. Okay. Here, list data structure. What is the list? And here listed tuple set. So these are all collections. So we learn these Python collections in an organized manner. Okay. First, I am going to talk what are the characteristics of each of this data structure. Okay. So already you remember this same model. So you can then understand all these Python collections concept. Okay, first one is what are the characteristics? For list, what are the characteristics? For tuple, for dictionary, what are the characteristics that you must learn? Then after that, representation of that particular collection. Presentation. Next one, what type of operations you can do on that particular collection. Next one is what are the important functions or methods, okay, available on that particular structure, okay, or data structure or collection. Okay. Characteristics, representation, operations, functions, or methods. Only these four aspects you must learn for each and every collection type. Okay. So first, characteristics, how it is represented, how many ways you can create that particular collection. Okay. So what type of operations, okay, those are all allowed. Okay, for example, index operation, slice operation, like that. Then what are various functions or methods? They are all available. Okay. So these concepts you should learn for each and every collection. Okay. So you must remember in the same order so that you can understand each and everything. Okay. Good. So now let's first one, characteristics of a list. Okay. So let us say what is a list in Python. So a list is an ordered collection of items. That's it. Okay. In fact, in Python, everything is an object. Okay. List is also an object. It is an object. Vote is an object. Everything is an object. But list, it is called as a collection of items. Okay. No? So you can store. It may contain. It can contain any number of objects of any type. Understand? So we have list, tuple, set. Okay. They contain any number of objects of any type. Okay. Any number of objects of any type. That's the very basic rule. Okay. It can contain any number of objects of any type. That's it. But here, the important thing is order. Ordering is maintained. Okay. Ordering is maintained. So, list is an ordered collection of items or objects. So, it can contain any number of objects of any type. So, for example, to represent the real world data, these type of collections are required. Let me give one example. Let us say this representation is square brackets. For example, I want to buy 10 apples. Okay, 10 is a number. So what I want to buy here, apple. Okay, 10 apple. So each apple, its cost is 12.50. Okay. So then I would like to know whether the stock is available or not. Okay. So that is true or false. Yes or no, true or false. Next, if it is available, how many apples are available? 10 apples are available. This is my real world data. All of you getting what is the purpose of list? I am discussing the real time scenario. So here I have some real time data list. Okay, customer buying. Customer data I am maintaining in one supermarket or something. Okay. So I want to buy 10 apples. Each one costs 12.50. Stock is available or not? If available, how much is available? Okay. What is the quantity? So here you can observe some characteristics of list from this. Okay. So here 10 is here. Again 10 is here. Okay. This is first 10 I have inserted. This is the last 10 we have inserted. This is the first one and this is the last one. Okay. That is called ordering. Ordering is maintained in list. Okay. Clear? So you may argue that this 10 and this 10 both are same, sir. Actually, this is understand here. So list may contain homogeneous as well as heterogeneous data items. Heterogeneous different types. For example, 10 integer, apple it is str type, float type. This is boolean type, false. Again, it is int type. Okay, now list it may contain homogeneous data items or heterogeneous data items. Understand? That is the first characteristics. First characteristic is so homogeneous. It allows list allows homogeneous and heterogeneous data. Okay, it's the first characteristic. Same in list also. Okay, in list tuple will learn in the same manner. That's why you just understand the learning approach. First one is list allows homogeneous and heterogeneous data items. We have noticed here. Okay, 10 apple 12 and each one is a different type. First one is a int str float. Again, it is not str. This is bool type. This is again int type. Okay, now the next thing is here 10. Here also we are inserting 10. Okay, but this is the first 10 and this is the last 10. So here duplicate objects are allowed. Okay, same object, same object, but ordering is different. Duplicate objects are allowed. Next, ordering is maintained. By means of indexing. Okay, indexing. Which 10 first you have inserted? That should store, that must be stored in the first location. Okay, these are indexed 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. Already indexing slicing operations, I hope I have covered in depth and in detail. So the same concepts here also, no change at all. I have, I think I spent more than 1 hour in indexing and slicing operation earlier because I know that's important. So both positive. This is at index 0. So how can we recognize that this object is first inserted, this is next inserted? Because of this indexing. Okay, index 0, the element at index 0 that was inserted first. Okay. That's all. This is called ordering. Okay. First element you entered, that must be stored in the first index. Okay, 0th index. Negative indexing also possible. So index 0, index 1, index 2, index 3, index 4. So then the question is, sir, here at index, here at index 410, both are similar or both are distinct? That is the question. Anybody, can you answer this? Both tens, they are distinct or both are similar? So most of the guys, they may say that they are same, sir. Okay, actually, yeah, it is also 10, it is also 10, but they are treated as distinct. Okay, this is 10 at index 0, this is 10 at index 4. Okay, that's why they are treated as distinct. In set, they are treated as same. Why? What is the reason? Anybody can justify this answer? It has a logical thing here. Why they are treated as different? Any participants? Any idea? Actually, this concept, how did they introduce? Data type is also same, na? Int. Actually, in combinatorics, okay, if you have idea on combinatorics, okay, even though they look similar, but they are distinct. Why? Because their indexing is different. Okay, so according to the rule of combinatorics in mathematics, okay, even though the objects they are all like same, but their ordering, if you give any ordering to them, be treated as distinct. I will tell you one example. Combination also, I think you have learned this. Most of the people, they'll know the mathematical foundation. For example, you have purchased Woodland some chairs. All are from the same company, all are of same size. Everything is same. Okay, we arranged in a row. Then, do we say that all are same? As a human being, we say that all are same. In mathematics, they are not same. In mathematics, they are not same. Because if you are arranging in a row, there is some order. Interpretation is some ordering now. First chair, middle chair, last chair. Because if you are giving some, if they are differentiated by means of anything, whether by means of some color, by order, by anything, okay, by labeling, they must be treated as distinct, okay, as per the mathematics rule. So here you should apply. Okay, in fact, 10 and 10, they are like similar, but you are giving some indexing. Okay, then they must be treated as distinct. Okay, in case of set, there is no indexing. That's why both of them, they must be treated as same. Repetition of objects. In set, repetition is not allowed actually. That's why 2 times you cannot store in set. Okay, it will consider only one because there is no indexing. There is no indexing, you cannot differentiate these two objects by any means. That's why it is considered as similar or one. But here you are providing indexing. That means it can be differentiated by means of the indexing. That's why they must be treated as distinct. Is it clear? I hope. Because these are very fundamental concepts, but they are all very important. So in this, any doubt, anybody, why we should treat it as distinct? Okay, what is ordering, indexing, and all? This is the next important point. So duplicate objects are allowed, ordering is maintained, and list is allowing homogeneous and heterogeneous data items. So next, dynamic in nature. Dynamic. Next one is it mutable or immutable? Actually, at our home also, we write some list of items. By that, dynamically we add and we delete now. Okay, that is called what? Notable objects. Okay. So actually, list is immutable object. Immutable means it can grow. You can add or remove. You can do any modification. Okay, item reassignment. If it is mutable, these operations are legal. Okay, clear? So mutable objects means you can add one item to this list. You can remove. Anyway, we discussed this in the functions of that particular collection over here. Next is reassignment. For example, already there is an item existing. So you want to reassign that item. Okay, yeah. So that is called mutability. These objects are mutable. Okay, you can reassign, you can remove, you can add. Okay, how to add and remove, do the operations I will cover this in this session. Okay, no worry. So dynamic in nature, and these are all mutable. Okay, now if I add an item, what happens? The list size grows. If I remove the item, list size it shrinks. Okay, so that's dynamically. You can add it, you can delete. Okay. The size it varies, it changes dynamically. That's why it is called as dynamic data structure. Okay, dynamically the size grows, size reduces. Clear? That's about the list characteristics. List is an ordered collection of items. It can contain any number of objects of any type. Here you can find the example. You have a number of objects, they are all different types. List allows homogeneous as well as heterogeneous. Duplicate objects are allowed. Okay. Ordering is maintained by means of indexing. So these objects are mutable objects. Okay. So it is dynamic in nature. So these are called characteristics of a list object. Any queries after this? Then I will go with the representation of this mutable. Very nice. Very good. Somebody answered this question. They are mutable or immutable. Mutable. Mutable, if you want to say which objects are called mutable, if any objects, if these are legal, then we say that they are mutable. Good. Thanks. Nice presentation. Okay, good. Good, sir. Good. Very nice. Okay. So the objects which is addition, removal, and reassignment are called mutable objects. Then here there is one more thing I want to clear. What about this? You are saying is a data structure. Data structure means data plus operations. What type of data structure list is? linear or non-linear. Actually, here one thing, in our normal data structures, classical data structures, we have linear data structures and non-linear data structures. Okay. In Python, we have linear data structures and set associative data structure. We don't call them as non-linear data structure. Okay, that's one important point I want to mention. Actually, normal data structure. So if the elements they follow some order or sequence, they are called linear data structures. Okay. If the elements are stored in any arbitrary order, they don't maintain any sequence, we call them as non-linear data structure. Yeah, reverse order. Somebody posted one question. No worries, sir. I'm going to explain. 0 ends with -1. Actually, that is left to right direction, 0 to length -1. If it is right to left, -1 to minus of length. Okay, that is the indexing. Anyway, I will draw the diagram and I will explain. Somebody asked the question. Good. So actually, in Python language, you have linear data structure where linear ordering is maintained. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and all. Okay, this is called as linear data structure. Okay, there is some sequence. They follow some sequence. Okay, list follows some sequence. Tuple it follows some sequence. Okay. So set it does not follow any sequence. Okay, any order, because set itself is an unordered collection of distinct objects. Now, here set is also one type of collection, sir. But I don't say that it is a sequence. Okay, actually, in sequence, I think I have covered this topic. In sequence, we use list, string, tuple in place range in place of sequence. But I didn't say that set. Why? Because set is not a sequence, sir. There is no ordering now. Set is elements, unordered collection of distinct elements is called set. There is no ordering there. That's why we should not say that it is a sequence. Okay, should not say that it is a sequence. So now list, tuple, they are all linear because the elements are in a sequence. What about dictionary? Dictionary, it is not linear, but at the same time, you should not say that it is non-linear. Okay, because it has one unique name that is called set associative type of data structure, dictionary. Anyway, in one session completely we discussed dictionary. That is the most important for your data science application. Very nice. This one is clear. Now I will talk on representations of this. Okay, this representation. Next concept. I will discuss each of these points one by one. First one, characteristics I have covered. So let us go with the representations of bits and how they are internally represented inside the memory. How they are represented inside the memory. So next concept is list representations. List representation. Okay, clear. Good. So lists are represented with the square brackets. Lists are represented with square brackets. Lists are represented with square brackets like this. This is called list notation. Okay. Square brackets are used to represent a list. Okay. So, for example, L is equal to empty square brackets I am writing here. L is equal to. So, this is what this is creating an empty list. Creating an empty list. Empty list creation. Okay. Now, so I have created one object called list object, but it is empty. No items are available in this list. Okay. Clear? So, what is the type of this L? L type is list type. Okay. This is an object of list class. Okay. Now, let us suppose I want to create a list with some items. Okay. List with items. For example, I want to create a list of homogeneous items. Heterogeneous, already we have seen that example. Let me create one list with homogeneous items. So, and so in separated by comma. Okay, 20, 30. Everything is an object. Remember, it's not just an integer, simply is an object. Okay, 10, 20, 30, 40, comma 50. So how many objects are there? Here total 5 objects are there. So these 5 objects collectively given a name as a list. Okay. Actually, list is a collection type. Okay. So you can it contains any number of objects of any type. Okay. So that is the nature of this one. So for example, I have declared, I have defined, not declared. This is called list, defining a list. Okay. So I am defining a list with 5 items. Internally, what happens? What does this L contain? Okay. And how to access the list items. Okay. First creation, this one. Okay. There are 2 more methods I will cover. First, let us have a look on how this is represented inside the memory. Okay. So everything is an object. That's why first let me draw the object. This is an object. But internally, how this data is represented, that is different, sir. Okay. In case of its float, IEEE 74 format. In case of integer, there is a different format. If it is a list, it's different. Okay. Internal storage representation also not same for all type of objects. Okay. That depends. Okay. More details you can learn in NumPy arrays. Okay. So there are total 5 elements in this particular list. So let me draw one by one. So you understand this concept, it is very important. 4 and 5, total 5 elements in my list. So what are the elements here? Starting with 10 up to. So 10 is the first element. 20. These elements need not to be distinct. Okay. Because here duplications are also allowed. You can take all same elements, no worry. 50. Okay. So now, so a object is assigned one unique number. I have covered in the very first beginning of the session. Okay. So this one, it will have some value. So that is assigned to L. Where is L here? Just let me type one random number here. For example, it's unique ID. You can get it with ID function. Okay. So 3752331557. Like that, there is some random number, very large number. Okay. So this is the unique identification number given to this object. So now L is what? L is a reference to this particular object. Okay. Here a collection of items you are representing as a single object. Okay. That is called what collection? Collectively, you are storing the objects and assigning this. Now L is referring to this one. L. Okay. L will refer to this particular. Now L is referring to this one. This is the actually memory representation of a list type object. Now, one of the participant is query I am answering now. Indexing. So actually here Python allows both positive indexing and negative indexing. So positive index always starts from 0 and the next one is 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So total the length of this list is 5. So indexing starts from 0 up to length minus 1 because positive indexing starts from 0 up to length minus 1. So negative index is also allowed. Okay. Then what is the starting value, ending value of the negative indexing? Okay. So this one is minus 5. Starting value is minus 1. Actually, I should type from right to left, but I'm typing from left to right. Okay. But the ordering is from right to left. This one is minus 4. This one is minus 3. This one is minus 2. And this one is minus 1. I hope this is clear to all. Let us understand this direction. That is also important. The same concepts here we apply and other operations. Good. Okay. If it starts with minus 1, what is the last value? Somebody asked the question. Now I will derive the formula. Don't worry, sir. Okay. But let me write these directions and all. Okay. So from right to left. Right to left. So negative indexing. Okay. Right to left. This one. In right to left indexing, so start value is what? Starting with -1. Okay. Start index is -1. Stopping is at minus of length. Minus of length of the string. Am I right? You can remember this generalized formula. Start value is -1. So what is the direction? Right to left. What is the start value? -1. What is the stop value? Minus of length. What is the index? Maximum index is this one, minimum index is this one. -1 to minus of length. So now let us check this left to right. Left, right. This is positive indexing. Now you can guess what is the start value for this. Start with 0 index, stop with length -1 because it starts with 0. That's it. Okay. I hope it is clear. I think I have given the idea on this notations and this representation and indexing of this one. Okay. So actually, a group of objects collectively, you are saying that it is a list. Okay. A list is an object, but within the object, we have some collection of objects. Okay. It is an object of another objects. Okay. We may contain any number of objects of any type. So, for example, list is a collection. That's why how to access these individual items of this collection using the index. You can use either positive or negative. Let us say L of 0, not 0. So that is same as L of -5. Okay, positive and negative index both are valid. So L of -5 and L of this one is 10. Okay, that equal to 10. L of -1 last element 50. L of 0 first element. Okay. So this is called index operation. Indexing operation. Okay. So index it returns element present at the given indexing. Element present at the given indexing. Okay. So any type of sequence indexing is a valid operation. So this is your memory representation. So what is the other approach to create the list? For example, you want to take in from the list. Okay. Should I do equal to? Okay, here was one function already I talked about this evaluate function. So evaluate of input of enter a list. Dynamically you want to take input from the user. This is static input, sir. Okay. You are fixing the input prior to the execution of the program. That is called static input. But I want to take input at the runtime. Then I have to use this function. Function by default it returns what? It returns a string. That's I want to convert into equivalent list. Okay. Actually, whatever the value you are entering here, you must evaluate that expression. Okay. No? So evaluate function already I told you that it will evaluate an expression. What is an expression in Python or any language? Okay. Any valid statement that has a value or that evaluates to a value. Okay, no? For example, if you provide the input like this 10, 20, okay. So this is also an expression. Okay, no? Actually, it returns in the form of a string, but it evaluates this particular expression. So obviously, what is the value of the expression? The list itself. List itself is the expression. So I hope it is clear what is an expression. Actually, expression in only a plus b or a into b, a greater than b. Okay, everything is an expression. Okay. In fact, okay. Good. So these things we will do hands-on. Now it's clear. I have given the idea on indexing. A slice operation also. One more operation, slice operation. I will discuss now. Slicing means some part of this structure I want to get it. That is called slice operation. So slicing operation, for example, L of here colon, you will get, there is a colon in this colon operation. So it expects three arguments. Okay. In absence of those arguments, what default value you should consider, that I show. So end and step value, three arguments we must provide. For example, start value, I will start with 1, and last value I am providing it as 5. Okay, and step count is 1. So I am providing three arguments. First, we must check the last one, step count. If it is positive, then which part you should consider begin to n minus 1. First, identify what is the step value, it is positive or negative. If it is positive, then left to right direction, positive indexing. Okay, positive indexing. Positive indexing, then what should be the start index, what should be the stop index? That will be begin to n minus 1. Already I have covered in detail in the string concept. For example, this operation, S is any sequence. You have start value, stop value, step count. This is the syntax of our operation. It is called as slice operation. So start, stop, and step. First, you check the step value. If it is positive, that is left to right. Then you must consider start to stop. Okay. The range of index you should consider start to stop minus 1. Okay. In case step is positive, that is left to right. Okay, step is negative, then you must consider start to stop plus 1. In case of this is a negative indexing, and direction is from right to left. Is it clear to all? These are the logical points. Okay, you should not get any confusion. So they can be of. So understand one thing: start value, stop value, step value. They can be both positive or negative. Okay, it doesn't matter. You should not get any confusion at any moment. Okay, first check the step count. Okay, so if it is positive, then start to stop minus 1 with the increment of the step count. Okay. So if it is negative, step value is negative, start to stop plus 1 with an increment of minus of this value. That's it. This is called slice operation. Here it is called index operation and internal representation, characteristics, and list creations. If any queries, you can stop it. You can ask me, you can post it. No queries, then I will move with the implementation. These concepts, what I have talked is, I'm going to show it. I am going to execute this. Yes, participants, you can ask any queries regarding this list, any doubt in this indexing. Somebody they have posted about this negative indexing and positive indexing. I have given the explanation. Okay, I hope it is clear. One participant has asked that question. Okay, clear. Yes. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Yes, yes, yes. Now I will execute this and I will show you one by one this practical implementation and all. Okay, different ways of taking input. First one is static input, creating empty list, creating a list with fixed items, then taking dynamic input from the user. These three things I will show you that. Okay, then heterogeneous objects, what is their indexing, slice operations, I will discuss one by one. Okay. So now Python ideally, I will open my Python ideally. Ideally of Python. Python ideally. Okay, good. You can write a new program or you can check here. So for example, L is equal to empty bracket. So empty bracket, square brackets, they are this particular list. Okay. Now let me check what is the type of L. Type of L. So you can see here class list. Okay, L is of what type? List type object. Okay, class list means it is a list type object. Okay. So what is the ID? Obviously, what is the idea of this? Actually, this one is I will get 538380536 something like. Okay. What is it actually? Here this number na 375233 something. This is the ID of L. Understand? So ID is an object. So a unique identification number is assigned by the virtual environment of Python. So this is called unique ID of the object. So that is assigned to L. L refers to this one. ID of L, it returns the unique identification number of the object which L is referring. Okay, clear? So the type of L, obviously this is list type because here we are providing empty list. Okay. So now I want to create a list with some static input. Static input means already items are fixed. Okay, 10. Heterogeneous objects are allowed or not. Let us check here. Apple, same example I have taken. Apple 12.50, comma. Next one is true. Okay. Next one is tensor. Clear? Now, yes. What is type of L? Good. For example, I want to check. I want to access individual elements. What is L of 1? L of 1. At second index 1. Okay. Second item. Apple. Okay. Second item is Apple. What's the last item I want to access? L of -1. Always remember, you want to access, even though the list contains 1000 or 10,000 elements, you want to access the last one. Simply use L of -1. Then you will get last element index. That is L of -1 is equal to 10. That means this is the last 10 you have inserted. That is very important. So 10, it is not the first 10 what you have inserted. This is the last 10 you have inserted. Okay. Clear? So you should, they should treat them as different. Yep. L of good. For example, I want to check what is the type of L of -2. -2 means second last element. Instead of giving 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, L of 4, which is L of -2, simply I will give L of -2. Last but one. Second last. Okay. Obviously, what is its type? Bool type. I told you that this is not a string, it is bool type. Okay. So you can check a type of individual items. How to access individual items in this particular list using index. Positive and negative index both are allowed. Same thing I can get it L of 3. For example, L of 3, fourth element, index of the fourth element, L of 3. Okay. What is its type? Bool. Obviously, it is at 0, index 0. So index 1, index 2, and index 3. Okay. Element at index 3, it's a Boolean type. It returns VOOL type, bool type. Okay. So this is called index operation, okay, slice operation, and all. For example, item reassignment is allowed or not. I told you that this is a mutable object. Simply, what I want to do here. So L of 2, price. For example, I hope Apple cost it increases because of the people get awareness on their health, and this pandemic, everyone is purchasing fruits. Let us suppose now its price is 25.50, 25 rupees 55. Okay. Now you can print the value of L list. Now you can see the new list. Within the same list, what happened? This is reassigned. Okay. So what happened here? If I write the statement L of 2, L of 2, okay, that's different thing. Yeah. So L of 2 equal to 25.50. You are assigning 25.0 here. So this one you are reassigning with 25.50. So the changes are taking place within the same object. So they are called mutable. Okay. Item reassignment is legal. Okay. So that's why it is called as notable. Okay. Notable means deletions also it is allowed now. Deletion also allowed. For example, you want to delete, then there is a keyword called del. Del of last element. For example, I want to delete the last 10. Okay, now print L. You are getting this one 25 to. Okay. So del, the keyword, it is used to delete a particular item. Okay, del. There are some functions also there. Okay, that I will discuss. So our insertion, deletion, and all. Del, here it is there. So that's about the list creation. Okay. This dynamic nature, mutability, immutability, that one. Okay. Here. So is it okay to all? What is the list? How to create? Now I will show how to take dynamic input from the user for list items. I will discuss. So I want to take input from the user, the dynamic input. Dynamic input from the user. Then L is equal to eval function input function of enter a list. Okay, enter a list. Now I want to print. Okay, enter a list. So list notation is square brackets. Must use the same thing. 10, 20, 30, 40, and 50. Okay, that's it. Now you print the value of L. You are getting the same list. Okay. So to take dynamic input from the user. So first prompt the user to enter a list. Okay. So then eval function, it will evaluate the given expression. Okay. If it is a list, so it evaluates to same list. Okay. Then you are getting the list of values. So this is called dynamic input from the user. Okay. Next, the list. There is one constructor called list. Is a class actually. List is a class. So you can create a list using list class constructor. Class constructor. So to create equivalent list object given sequence. So here list is a class and list class constructor. You can use this list class constructor to create an equivalent list object for the given sequence. Okay. Here it creates an equivalent list object for the given sequence. Okay. So actually, this is very much useful when you are dealing with the function generators and all. For example, you call some methods on particular object, it returns some different type of object. Okay. So for flexible access of the items, okay, we need to convert that object into list object. You know, clear? So it's equivalent list for the given sequence. Okay. Inside the sequence, we have individual objects. So it creates a list that you can stand now. I will equivalent object for the given object for the given sequences. For example, L equal to list of. Already we know one sequence. We have talked about one sequence. So that sequence is nothing but range function. Okay, range generates what? A range of values. So for example, here I will give range of what? Let us suppose range of 10. Range of 10. So range of 10, it generates 0 to 9. So if you have any doubts, you can refer that iterative statements PPT I have sent. For example, if I want to generate 1 to 10, then I must give 1 to 11. Okay, begin to end minus 1. Same logic. Step count is +1. Starting value I am providing 1, and stop value I am providing 11. Stop to stop -1. So then what happens here? Actually, range function, it will generate range of integers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 up to 10. 11 is excluded. So it will generate this range of values. Okay, each value is one item in this particular sequence. Am I right? So understand here what are the items of this particular sequence. Okay, so you can create a list, different list object for the given sequence. Always the use of list function, list constructor is you can create an equivalent list object for the given sequence. So here range is a sequence. That's why I want to create a list object equivalent to this particular range. Okay. Actually, why I need to convert into list type? Because if it is a range now, you cannot do any modifications, reassignment, deletion. It's not possible. It is immutable. That means your list is providing mechanism to convert one immutable object to mutable object. Okay. This is commonly required in our applications, machine learning applications. And all. Okay. For example, you have some data is fixed. Okay. Historical data is there. Nobody should change it. So that fixed data you are going to represent tuple. But what happens that on that historical data you want to do some manipulations and all. At that time you need some manipulations. Huh? Then you cannot take it as it is as a tuple or some other format. Convert into a list or some other format. Actually, use of this list type of constructor in our real-time applications. Okay, now what happens? It generates this and it will convert into equivalent list. For example, if it converts into list format, then obviously, what will be the final output? You can guess. Each sequence, it is an element in the list 1, 2, 3, and dot so on up to 10. Okay, so each item in this particular sequence that is an element in the given list. Like that, it will convert. Will use this particular formula. Now it's okay. Now I will tell what happened here. I thought we got the same output. Okay, from this given sequence, so it will create an equivalent list by taking each item in the sequence and making them an element in the list separated by comma. Now, very nice. Is it clear to all? Now I will ask you one more question. List of, for example, I will provide one string here. Welcome. Welcome is my string. Otherwise, I will give Python. Now, how it will create equivalent list object? Anybody can you guess? So, what is the output of this? If I print this value, what would be the output? How to get random? There is a random module, sir, to get the random numbers. Yes, very nice answer, Dr. Given. How to get random numbers in a list? That is using the random module, you can generate it. Random number generation. Okay. Anyway, cover in the module session, no worry. Random module we have. Actually, this random module, it is available for our normal Python inbuilt library, and that is also there in NumPy library. There are other additional functionalities are there. Yeah, just very good. Correct right answer. Somebody has given. Good. Here, what is the logic? Actually, Python, it is a string. It is a sequence of what characters. Okay. That means here internally it is represented as yeah. Okay. So now this list function will create equivalent list. So how it will convert? Takes each individual item and it will make it as an element. If it makes an element, first element will be P. What is there? It is a character that is was the number. That's it. No worry. Same as it. T H O N with the output. Because the given sequence, it takes individual item in this sequence. Now it will make it as an element in the list. Okay. That will be the output. You can check the output. TYTHON. That's it. THON. Here you can see in this sequence, each individual item in the sequence, it is an element in the given list. list. So here that is the purpose of this list function. So can I create a list of list object? Yeah, that is also perfectly valid, sir. List. Okay, but no use. Already you are providing a list now. Here you can place one list. Here you must provide one sequence only. Okay. For example, 10, 20, 30. I am providing a list as input. I am creating list object equivalent. Print of L 10, 30. So here 10, 20, and 30. You are getting the same thing. A list already there is a list. You are creating equivalent list. This is also valid. So what I want to say here. So uh, sequence called toggle. It can provide. Introduce that, but later on I will. So can create a list here, taking dynamic input, using the list function by passing a single list object. So empty lists you can create. So that's about list creation. For example, for the operations like slice operation, you want to do slice operation, then you can use colon. For example, L equal to, let's say 10, 20, 10, 20, 30, 40, and 50. Total 5 elements. L of, for example, 1 up to 5, colon 1. Okay. So actually start index is 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 is the last index in positive direction. So you will get 20, 30, 40, 50. Let us check here. 20, 30, 40, 50. Because it is positive direction. Okay. Plus 1 is a step count is plus 1. So the range of index will be start to end minus 1. Okay. Start to end minus 1. So that is left to right direction. Left to right direction. For example, you can get from right to left also. Right to left, left to right, both all are valid. For example, minus of 4 colon minus of 2 colon minus 1. This is also valid, but you must check it. What is the range of index? So here it is minus 1. So that is minus 1 means it is a negative step count. That's where right to left. So what is the range of index? Starting value minus 4 to stop plus 1. Minus 2 plus 1 is minus 1. Minus 4 to minus 1, right to left direction. Is it possible or not? If it is possible, then only it will extract that part. Otherwise, empty. List as output. Minus 4 to minus 1, right to left. Can we reach this or not? Must check it. So minus 1 is here. Minus 2, minus 3, minus 4. Okay. From minus 4 to minus 1, right to left. Can we go with this or not? So take create this empty output because you cannot reach there. Okay, understand if you are getting empty in case of strings, empty output in case of list, empty list, that means it's not possible to extract. Okay, if I go from right to left, starting from minus 4 up to minus 2, we cannot extract anything. Okay, because minus 1, minus 2, minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4. Minus 4 index is here, minus 1 is here. Right to left, from minus 4 to minus 1, can we reach? Cannot reach here. Left to right, you can reach. From minus 4 to minus 2, left to right, you can reach. But right to left, you cannot reach. Okay. Any doubt? Just that is a simple logical point. So any doubt, you can rise. 2 to minus 4, you can reach, I think. Just you interchange them. Minus 2, colon minus 4, colon minus 1. Now you check what will be the output, 40, 30. So can you understand this output? Why we are getting 40, 30? Very simple. Minus 1 is right to left, right to left. If it is right to left, what is the range of index? So start value up to n plus 1. Start value is what? Minus 2. N plus 1 is minus 4 plus 1, minus 3. Minus 2 to minus 3, right to left. So here is minus 2, 3, right to left. Then you will get 40 as well as 30. That I hope it's clear. Operation, slice operation, it is very important. In international certification, many questions are there. Okay. So, somebody asked this question about range. Range function, you have 3 variants. Okay. So, is required for that. I will talk at the time of modules. Let me continue with it. Inside the range, for example, if the values are okay, the types of sets like discrete sets, continuous sets, you have idea on set theory. So a set, it may contain some discrete values, okay, discrete set of values. To generate them directly, you can use one type of random. For example, if the interval is continuous intervals, so in continuous intervals, if you want to generate some range, okay, then you use a different random function, okay. Like that, there are variations to generate this random numbers, okay. So within some discrete set of values, okay, you want to generate some ranges, okay. So if there is a intervals, you want to generate those values, you have different form of random. Like that, there are different variations. Anyway, we will talk on this in the module section. In module section, I will cover some predefined modules like math module, random module. They are very, very important. Okay. So at that time, I will talk in detail. Just I have given overall idea on this. Okay. So actually, here X, this is added. Nah, added means these are adding some, extending some functionalities. That's it. Okay. So in an entire Python programming, wherever you find X, okay, or some change in the code, then that means it is extending something. For example, you have range function in Python, arrange in NumPy. Okay, range and arrange, their functionality is almost all same, but some extension is there in NumPy. Okay, like that. Here also range and X range, same thing. Okay, I will give complete detailed analysis on this. Okay, range and range in the most worry. So right now, I think this list, everything is fine. So I have discussed what are the characteristics of list, what is the representation of list, internal representation of list object, how many ways you can create a list object, index operation and slice operation. I have covered detail. For any questions, any queries, you can ask me. Then we will go to the next point. That is, what are the operations we can do on the list? Okay. Apart from index operation, size operation, what other operations you can do, and what are the important functions and methods you can apply on the list, so that this one will be clear. Okay. So, guys, any queries, any doubts, you can explain. You can give your question in this chart window so that I will cover. Okay. Otherwise, just we will go with the next. That is called functions or methods of this particular. What ability already talked. Accessing using indexing already I have covered. Creation I have covered. So how to access the elements and traversing the lists. Just we write a simple program to traverse these elements in the given list. Okay, simple program to traverse the given element. So how to write the programs on this with a programming exercise we will cover now, arranging this. So let us write a simple code to traverse this given list. So traversing, searching, insertion, deletion are most frequent operations we can perform on any type of data structure. Okay. In data structures, those are all fundamental operations. Let us take test file. I write a program for traversal of given. So accessing each individual item in the given list, that is called list traversal. Okay, first operation I'm going to perform programmatically. So first one, traversal of a list data structure. Traversal of a list data structure. So how to develop the code and logic? I am going to talk about this now. Okay. Then different programs we will work on. So you can take dynamic input, no worry. So just for simplicity's sake, I am taking this 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. May accept input from the user. So now here we run a for loop. We access this because they are in order. They are stored in an order. So I want to access element by element because these elements are stored in a sequence so that you can access these elements one by one. Okay. You can use for loop or a while loop. But for loop is the most preferred one. For each item, I in the given list L. Here. So for loop for in. So here you must use a sequence. Okay, that is the basic rule. In for loop, you must use a sequence. Here list is a sequence so that I can use this L. List is a sequence, or else I will write for each item in the list. More meaningful, I will use this name convention. So for each item in the given list, for each item in this list, that's it. Okay. For each item, that can be anything. It can be integer, heterogeneous, or homogeneous, doesn't matter. So here, for each item in the list, just I want to print list of that item. So save this file and run it. 10, 20, 30, 40, and 50. Yeah. So this code is very simple code. All of you clear with this? Just very simple. So to access the elements, to do the manipulations in the given list, use a for loop. Okay. So for loop syntax is for in a particular sequence. For each item, the given sequence, this suit gets executed. Okay. First item is assigned to 10. First item is assigned to 10. Now you print 10. Again, go to the beginning of the loop, assign 22 item, print 20, 30, 40, 50. Once 50 is assigned, it is printed. No elements in this sequence so that it will stop execution of this loop. Very simple logic. Okay. So any queries, any doubts? So you can use while loop also. First count number of items in this list. Okay, use a while loop and that index number. You can print all. Effect. So nested loops, nested lists also you can access them. Okay. So you can now you can implement things. Okay. For example, you have a set of inputs x and outputs y. You can use the mathematical formula y equal to mx plus a, y equal to ax plus b, the general syntax, general that mapping function of linear regression. So a and b value formula. So there is one query from the participant. Let's understand. Individual item in the list. So very simple. Using the index, you can access individual items in the list. Individual items you can access with the index value. Okay. So that thing also I will implement. If you wish, I will write that code. So if this is okay, then I will write that second version of that accessing through index. In for loop, you cannot access through that index. Okay. Directly you can access. Otherwise, you must use that index values using the range function. Okay. So same loop I will just modify using the index values. Okay. The index value. So L equal to this one. So same program I will write using the index. Can we get list? Yeah. L of 0 we will get. I will print all the elements. No worry. For each I in range of length of L. Okay. For each I in range of length of L. What is the length of L? It returns the number of elements in the given list. How many number of elements? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this returns 5. I am creating a sequence of range of 5. Then obviously, in range of 5, what is the length of? I will write each one individually. Length of L, it returns what? It returns 5. Okay, now. Then range of 5. Range of length of L means range of 5. Na? Range of 5, it will generate 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. These integers. Now, for each I, in this value 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So, for each I in this sequence 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, what you want to do here, just you want to print the elements at that particular index, L of I. L of I. So, I hope it's clear, sir. Okay. Listed tuples. Don't worry, sir. We are still in the list. We will go with tuples. Comparison with list and tuple. No worry, sir. In detailed discussion after list and tuple, I will make this comparison and I will give all the points. Somebody asked this question how to access through this one. Okay. So directly you are assigning items and printing that. So we want to access through index. Somebody post that question. Just I have implemented this. I hope it's clear that who has asked this question. Now I will run this. You will get same out. There is no change at all. 10, 20, 30, 40 people. This time, yeah, somebody can giving some answer. Let me verify. Very nice, sir. Can you please provide link, practice some programming applications? Okay, sir. Certainly, I will give you how to change my name, state ID. Practice some applications. Somebody posted one. What is this? This is a general question, right?
Ramesh sir, that is regarding their
Not his name. That's why he's asking.
Yes.
Okay, okay. So, sir, can you provide link applications will program you? Okay, sir. There is one website called PyNative. I'm typing PyNative, the website. So there you can find some content related to Python and some programming exercises and solutions also. Okay, PyNative. If you are a beginner, I would recommend that. If you are good at programming, then go for HackerRank. Okay, if you are a beginner, basic learner, you go with that. If you are good at programming, then you can go with HackerRank. If you are an expert level, then go to the lead coding. That's chat box already I have typed it, sir. PyNative. So how to access these items with index? Okay.
Ramesh sir, once again, you post it to everyone, sir. I think it have been posted to only a specific person.
Okay, okay.
You just select it to everyone and then post that.
Native.com. Okay. To everyone, I think I have posted.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I hope this one is beginner purpose is Native is good, sir. Native is good because they have provided the explanation as well as programming exercises plus solutions. Okay, code so that you can analyze your code. What is your idea? You can implement in a different type. PYNATIV, Native. So this is about list accessing with index, accessing individual items and all. Okay, Native, yeah. So if it is clear, then I will go with the next level of this learning of this infrastructure. Basic level we have learned. Now we will see the important functions on list. To add, to delete. Okay, those are all important functions. Python. Okay. So now let us discuss additions. Everything is allowed. So traversal I have completed. Now we are going to talk about addition, deletions, sorting, reversal, memberships, operations. So before that, let me give very simple thing, that is nested list. A list is nothing but collection of objects. That object, it can be a list or a tuple or anything. You can create a list of dictionaries also. Okay, list of tuples, list of dictionaries, list of lists, all are possible, sir. Okay. So here I want to create a nested list. Okay, like 2D arrays. So 2D array, it contains number of rows, collection of rows. Okay. For example, I want to create a 3 rows, and each row we have 2 columns. For example, 1 comma 2. Okay, 3 comma 4. Each row you have 2 elements, and you have 3 rows. Okay, just you check it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So list is L is an object, list object. Inside the list again you have another list. This is called nested list concept. Okay. You have 3 rows. Each rows you have 2 columns. This is 3 by 2 matrix. Print of L. You are getting this list 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, 6. Okay. Now, how to access this? If it is a linear list, then you can access with single dimension. If it is a 2D list, you must use 2 index. Okay. If it is a 3-dimensional, you must use 3 index. That is the common rule. So first you must select which 1D you want to array. A collection of 1D arrays is called as 2D array. Actually, it's not array. It is a list. Okay. It's a list, nested list. Okay. Which you want to access? I want to access this one, 3, 4. Okay, that is at index 1. Element at index 1 is a list of 3, 4. You are getting 3 comma 4. Okay, so if you provide only one index, it will give you the list in the nested list. Okay, otherwise, for understanding sake, you can say that second 1D array. This is first 1D array. This is the second 1D array. So if it is a 2-dimensional list, okay, one is it will return that particular 1D array. For example, you want to access individual element. Let us suppose I want to access 5. So there are 2 steps. There is a 2-step process. First, I should select that particular row. So this row index is 0, 1, and 2. That's why row index 2. In that, I want to access first element. That's why I should provide second index 0. L of 2 0. It will return 5. Okay. Again, the logic here is you must use nested loops. Okay. For each item in this list. Okay. So each item in this list, again, it is a list. So that you must use the nested loops to access this array, these lists. Okay. Anyway, let us come. Before that, let me. It's insertions and deletion operations on list. So list is we have that object is mutable so that you can add, delete, or do anything. Okay. So let us suppose first let me write the operations one by one. I will do it. So here you have three types of methods in insertion, deletion. Okay, important operations, insertion. So to insert the elements in the list, what are the methods you have? First one is append method. Second one is insert method. Insert. Next one is extend method. Okay, extend. Three methods are for insertion. For deletion, you have move method. Okay. Next one is pop method. Next one is method. One is clear method. These four are delete the elements. Actually, del. So you delete anything. But these three and these methods I want to talk. Okay. Now, so insertions and deletions. These methods are very important. For example, L equal to 10, 20, 30. Let us say L1. L1 is equal to 10, 20, 30. 10, 20, and 30. Okay. So append function, it adds an element at the end of the list. For example, L1 dot, but you can add only one element. L1 dot append of 40. L1 dot append of 40. Now print L1. It is added at the ending. You can check here 10, 20, 30, 40. Okay. You can add only at the end of a particular list, append method. But always we don't want to add at the end. That's why I want to insert. I want to use insert method. At a given index, you can insert. For example, at index 1, I want to insert 999. Okay. So at index 0, you have 10. At index 1, you have 20. In place of 20, I want to insert 999. Okay. Then you provide the index number and the value. 999, I want to insert. Then print of L1. You can check here 10, 999, 20, 30, and 40. So here what happened, this is a mutable object. That's why modifications size is growing. Dynamically it grows. Okay. So it's a dynamic data structure. Dynamically you can add the elements, you can delete the elements. Okay. So additions, deletion, if you do anything, it's happening within the list only. Okay. Append method, insert method. For example, you want to append a complete list at the end of one list. For example, I want to delete the last element in the given list. Last element in the given list. Then we must use which function? Pop function. Now print L1. Actually, pop function it returns that value which was deleted. Clear? Pop function always it deletes the last element. It returns that element that was deleted. Okay. Now in this list L1, you are getting 10, 999, 20, 30. Okay. For example, you want to delete an element at index 1. Index 1. Then I must use the same form function with that index number 1. Okay. So now which element got deleted? 999 got deleted. Okay. 999 is deleted. So now I want to print the value of L1. Yes. Let us suppose L1 is equal to 10, 20, and 30. 10, 20, as well as 30. This is my first list. And L2, I am defining another list with 40, 50. Okay, 40, 50. Append function, it adds only one element at the ending. Okay. For example, you want to add all these items of the second list at the end of the first list. Then L1 dot extend function. Okay. It extends list L1 by adding all the items of L2. Okay. So now print L1. Now all the elements will be added. L1. You can check this 10, 20, 30. This is from first list L1. And the elements of second list 40, 50, they are added at the ending. 40, 50. Okay. For example, you want to delete any element Okay, then you can use remove function, L1 dot remove of. So remove function, the argument is a specific element. For example, you have remove the element number, element 20, element 20. So L1 dot remove of 20. So it will remove that particular element. Print of L1, 10, 30, 40, 50. So automatically this element, it was removed. Okay, L1 dot remove of. So for example, you want to delete an element by providing some index value. Okay. So here, for example, I want to delete the element at index 2. Then L1 dot pop of 2. Then what happens here? It is deleting 40. So now you print that L1, 10, 30, and 50 because the index at 2 was deleted. So it is clear, extend function, pop operation, remove. Okay. So you can do this practical with different options. For example, the remove method. So if I give a value which is not existing in the list, what happens? What type of error you are getting? Okay. In pop, negative indexing is possible or not. Negative indexing also possible. So if it is out of range, what type of error you are getting? So these things you can practice. Okay. These things you can do the practical. For example, a list contains 100 elements. Then I cannot do the pop operation 100 times. I want to delete all the elements at once. Then I want to use clear function, L1 dot clear function. It will clear all the contents of the list. Okay. So these are the important functions of deletion and clearing the content. So I hope this session it somewhat basic idea on lists I have given. I tried my level best. Okay. So lists topic regarding this, I will upload that material. List tuple dictionary, I made one single PPT, but there are many things we have to discuss. Just I have given just important points in that PPT, but in the regular session, I will cover in depth and in detail. Okay. So we will just stop here. So you please revise, watch the video again. What topics I have covered. Any queries you come with in the next session, because every day we have a session. That's why I am going to discuss step by step, topic by topic. Okay. So today what we have learned, what is a collection type. Okay. So what are distinguishable objects, indistinguishable objects? What is very left to right, right to left indexing and slicing operations, and list representations, notations, list function and its purpose. So if it is mutable, then how many, what are the ways, what are the different approaches to assign item assignment and the deletion operation, del keyword, and important functions for appending, insertion and extension, extending, remove pop and pop index and clear operations and all. Okay. So this is all for today's session, and tomorrow in the next session. So I'm going to cover some sort, reverse operation, sort, cloning, and memberships. Next one is some programming exercises on lists. Okay, frequently asked in interviews in company coding ground interviews and all. Those common problems which are asked in interviews, I will cover tomorrow. So tomorrow, if possible, I will cover linear regression mathematical solution using the list concepts. Okay, because you are learning this Python for machine learning now, so that it is good to discuss those mathematical background behind the machine learning and what we are using through Python. I will cover that tomorrow. Linear regression implementation using Python list concepts. Once list concept is over, then I will go with tuple. Tuple also I will discuss same things. What are the characteristics? What is its representation? And how internally it is represented. So mutable or immutable. I will prove whether it is immutable or immutable. So if it is immutable, we don't have insertion deletions. Okay, no worry about that, because it won't allow item reassignment, insertion deletions and all. Then I will discuss tuple and list differences. Very important question in an interview. Any interview, they will ask the same question. Difference between tuple and list. Most probably tomorrow we will try to finish all this. So by this, I will close this session for today. And any queries, you are all welcome. Your constructive criticisms or any suggestions, always welcome. Any modifications in our material, which content which we are providing to all our enthusiastic participants, that is also can give the suggestions and all. So, madam, I think the time is
Yes, sir.
18.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I think about to close the session.
Yes, sir.
So you can make any announcements and any queries you can type in the chat. Still we have 2-3 minutes of time. I will try to answer if possible in this session. Otherwise, I will answer in the next coming session. Most of the participants, they have many queries, but they are not related to this topic, sir. They are related to some other interconnected topics like packages, modules, other things. Okay, when that comes, I will definitely answer your query, sir. I think I have never left any question. That I use cover. Okay, it will get fixed out. So that's all. Thank you all participants for your patient listening and enthusiastic participation and active participation. Okay. Okay, madam.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Dear participants, tomorrow we are again going to meet with Ramesh sir session itself. Tomorrow morning there is a session with Dr. Ramesh Kumar Mojada from 10 to 12. And tomorrow we have two sessions. One is with Ramesh Kumar Mojada from 10 to 12 and 2 to 4, Mr. Arunjit Chaudhary, CEO, Enterprise Building Training Solutions. He is going to teach machine learning using Python. That he is going to take 2 days of session. So the first session he's taking 2 parts of machine learning using Python. That will be tomorrow at 2 to 4. So tomorrow we are going to have 2 sessions from 10 to 12, Dr. Mojad Ramesh Kumar sir, and from 2 to 4, Aranjit Chaudhary from CEO Enterprise Building Training Solutions on the same link. So thank you so much, participants, for being patient with us and being participating actively for this 2 weeks FTTP, STTP. Papati sir, yes, for the second session, we are not going to provide you the feedback link as we planned that together for all the sessions of Dr. Mojad Ramesh Kumar sir, we will take a feedback. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, madam.
Thank you, sir. We'll meet tomorrow. Thank you. Have a great day.